I think it's coming. I don't.
Yeah, so here something older one he had it in the past. Same. And this is then slightly simpler than connecting the.
But I'm just getting, not sure.
That light is from the projector only, I think?
No, that's not. Is it coming? No.
It's the back.
It's the back, yeah.
It's the background. Yeah.
Is it coming now? I will check the other one, yeah, whether it's coming up.
Here, right now, no light is released. I can see the red light here, but.
Yeah. No, that's not. Is it coming? No.
It's the back.
It's the back, yeah.
It's the background.
Okay, at least the streaming is working. We'll set up this one. We'll set up that one. Okay. Can you do me a favor, please? Do you want to just keep it so that people know that we are alive?
Can you just sit somewhere?
No tough questions. No tough questions. You can't ask many tough questions.
I'm pretty good at
This is the time.
I asked her the question that you asked her a really long time ago. She has the other pajamas. I don't think the answer to it. She does have the other pajamas, but she hasn't asked the answer. I don't think she will.
Does she remember that I asked her that question?
Yeah.
Really?
But she doesn't, I don't think she remembers it was
Oh, you're holding this as the live stream, is it?
Yeah.
Go on. I think it's just started. Whoever comes. No, I don't think the connection is working, so he's going to check what might be feasible. If not, I'm just going to show this. But I think he's gone to see what needs to be done. But I think we will kind of just get started. Okay, backbenchers. सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं मातृयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखा Vande Valmiki Kokilam. We'll do a short bhajan and then we'll kick off. Ram Ram Sita Ram Ramachandra Pahi Mam. Ram Ram Sita Ram Ramachandra Pahi Mam. Ram Ram Sita Rama Ramachandra Pahi Mam. Ram Ram Sita Rama Ramachandra Pahi Mam. Rama Krishna Govinda Hare 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 Pahi Mam. Hara Hara Gangadhara Nilakantha 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 Pahi Mam. Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam.
Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam. Rama Sita Ram Ramachandra Pahi Mam.
Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam.
Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam.
Hara Hara Gangadhara Nilakantha Pahi Mam.
Hara Hara Gangadhara Nilakantha Pahi Mam.
Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam.
Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam.
Rama Rama Sita Ram Ramachandra Pahi Mam.
Rama Rama Sita Ram Ramachandra Pahi Mam.
Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam.
Rama Krishna Govinda Hare Pahi Mam.
It's too complicated to just carry on this. Okay, so quick recap from last week. So we are doing Valmiki Ramayana, and last week we finished Balakanda with Sita Kalyana and the arrival of Parshurama, and we have completed Parshurama's how he was overpowered as well. Right? So in terms of, we had said at the start that we learn Valmiki Ramayana, or we learn Ramayana in general, and we can learn it as a story, but there is also a lot of life lessons that are inbuilt in the Ramayana. So as we go through the story, it's also important to try and capture what those lessons might be, and each of us will take different lessons, and sometimes when we hear the story different times, we might get different lessons from it also, right? So one of the things I do want to do is to maybe just take a step back and ask ourselves, what were probably in the 6-7 lessons that we've done on Balakandam, what were, if there were any lessons that you all captured, then we discuss, and then I've got some questions on that, but we'll come to that in a minute. Before that, how many of you know what are the 10 avatars of Vishnu? We say Dashavatar. How many of you know which, some of the 10 avatars of Vishnu? Which are some of the 10 avatars? Which one? Your job is to put your hand up, not to put somebody else's hand up. You are putting his hand up. Do you know any avatar of Vishnu? The 10 ones? Matsya, yes. What else? Kurma is what actually? Turtle, yes. And then? There's one more that comes. Varaha, that's a boar. Yes, and then? Narasimha. Vamana. Parashurama. Rama. Balarama. Krishna. Kala. Okay, cool. There is some debate on whether Buddha is one, but that's fine. That doesn't matter. There are 10 avatars, and you also said it in the order of which it has come. That's great. So last week we saw something very interesting. We saw you mentioned two avatars here, right? Parashurama and Rama. So Parashurama and Rama, two avatars meeting. It is like a double role. Two avatars of Vishnu meeting, and not just meeting. They are meeting and they are having a fight among each other. Isn't it? That feels a bit strange, right? How can Vishnu come in like two forms, and he is already now kind of one form of Vishnu is fighting with the other form of Vishnu? How does that work?
Three hours.
Which is the third one?
Lakshmana.
Lakshmana, at least in that.
Not technically and all that, but yeah.
Yeah, we are trying to sort out two. I am not prepared for a third, so I think we will today try and see if we can address the. I think I'll keep you busy by giving you some work. Otherwise, you are going to make the session very difficult. But I was trying to understand how come two avatars of Vishnu, at least in the 10 avatars, are coming and actually having, they are having an argument, and one avatar is telling the other avatar, hey, come and fight with me. How is that possible? Seems a bit odd, no? So let's understand that a little deeper. Okay. So the first thing is we have to understand what is an avatar, because we often say God is everywhere, God is in me also. Does that mean I am an avatar? No, she is very clear. I am not an avatar. Okay, thank you. I had some doubts about it, but thank you for that look on your face gave it away to say I am not an avatar. Okay, that's very good. But on a serious note, avatar literally means to come down. So in Sanskrit, the word avatar literally means to come down. What it really means is this whole Lord and everything, right from the chair to the lamp to, we are all a part of the Lord. The Lord is not different from us. But from time to time, the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita that He comes down because He sees that the balance of dharma and adharma tends to get imbalanced. At that time, He comes down. Now, and in the Bhagavad Gita, there is a whole 4 or 5 verses on avatar rahasya. We won't get into that. But avatars are of two types. There are two types of avatar. One is called a mukhya avatar or a purna avatar, or a purna literally means a complete avatar. That is where the Lord manifests as is with all of his qualities. The Lord manifests in the earth. Rama avatar and Krishna avatar are considered two such purna avatars or mukhya avatar. Okay? There is also another type of avatar which is called Aveshya avatar, or Aveshya literally means Avishya, which in Tamil, Avishya Mirda Varu. So as needed avatar. So in those cases, the Lord may come, either He may manifest one aspect. So the Lord has got so many different qualities, so many different aspects and attributes, but the Lord may choose to emphasize one aspect much more in that form, or He may not be literally born in that avatar, but He may choose one person and almost transfer some of His qualities in almost a significant way in that person. Okay? So, although all avatars are 10 avatars, we don't make that distinction, but when you actually go and understand, Purna avatar is almost considered a fuller version of the Lord as compared to an Avesh avatar, because the Lord has chosen only to bring that aspect. Okay? So, Parashuram avatar is like an Avesh avatar. And what aspect of the Lord's qualities did you see exemplified in Parashurama? What quality comes to mind when you close your eyes and think of Parashurama, or you heard the story? What comes out most strongly for Parashurama? Anyone knows? Anger, right? So Parashurama, it is said, Parashurama had killed 21 generations of Kshatriyas. That was the vow he had taken. Because his father was unjustly killed by another Kshatriya or a king who was Kartyavirya Arjuna. Okay? Now there is a small side story in the Ramayana or in the Itihas and Purana on Kartyavirya Arjuna, where it says that once Ravana had come to the banks of, I think it was the Narmada river, to do his Sandhyavandanam, and he found that the river hardly had any water in it, very very little. So Ravana, taking whatever water he had, he was doing his Sandhyavandanam. What he did not realize actually was that Narmada was flowing very well, but Kartyavirya Arjuna, he was reported to have almost 1,000 hands, that powerful he was. And Kartyavirya Arjuna was literally holding the Narmada river. He was taking a bath with his wives, etc. And he was holding all the Narmada river waters. That's why there was where Ravana was further downstream, he did not see that water. He was somewhere upstream. And after he had finished his bath, he got up. The river flew with full intensity and almost washed off Ravana and threw him out. And Ravana obviously is not the kind of person who takes insult very easily. He said, how can this happen? Somebody told him, no, Kartivirya Arjuna was there a few kilometers ahead with his wife, and he wanted to show off to his wife, so he was holding the river Narmada to say, see how powerful I am. And Ravana said, what nonsense is this? He goes to Kartivirya Arjuna and says, did you do that? Kartivirya says, yes, I did it. Can you want me to show you again? He says, no. If you did that, do you know because of that I was wiped off from the river and I was washed away? Kartivirya Arjuna says, okay, tough luck. Try yourself, carry on. He says, no. I've been insulted, so I am going to fight you. So if you have done that, I want you to come. And Ravana was not like very hot-headed and he liked to pick up a fight. He loved a fight. So he said, I want to fight. So it is said that Kartivirya Arjuna and Ravana had a fight, and Ravana was, Kartivirya Arjuna, what he did, he eventually took Ravana, okay, he tied him around in that battle and he took him with him to his kingdom, and Kartivirya Arjuna had a child who was in a cradle. And children who are in a cradle like to see something moving, and that time they did not have iPad and they did not have other apps to show. The child did not like TikTok, etc. So he put Ravana like a small elephant rotating around like this, and that was entertainment for that child. So then afterwards Ravana realized that this guy is really powerful, so he sought his forgiveness and he moved on. So there is a whole Amar Chitrakatha series on Ravana Humbled. If you all get it, try and look it up. But Ravana has taken panga like this with a few different people, and including Vali. Correct. And he has learned his lesson, but some people when they are too arrogant, they forget that and again they want to go and take fight. So that Kartivirya Arjuna had defeated Ravana, and Ravana knew not to again go and fight with this person. Now this Kartivirya Arjuna was the one who, in an incorrect way, killed Parashurama's father, Jamadagni. And to avenge his death, Parashurama killed Kartivirya Arjuna, but again he was so angry, he said, you have killed a Brahman. That's why I am going to avenge not just you, but Kshatriyas all over. And that's why, when Parashurama comes, all the Kshatriyas are literally afraid. Even Dasharatha goes and surrenders and he says, please don't harm my family, please don't harm. So now what is the implication of all this? Ravana has been defeated by whom? Kartivirya Arjuna. Kartivirya Arjuna has been won over or defeated by whom? Parashurama. And Parashurama has been won over by whom? Rama. So literally Ramayana is finished. Because if A is greater than B and B is greater than C and C is greater than D, then game over. But we don't like to finish a story like this. So we'll bring some drama in it and we'll see what happens. But effectively what that means is by Rama having won over Parashurama, not necessarily killing Parashurama, but having won over his powers, and that's why Purna Avatar had to come to almost quench or address. Because sometimes when we say one person is they really like cleanliness and they are very good in those, but sometimes that can become OCD. Have you heard of OCD? Right? So all qualities are not good or bad in themselves. If used, they can be really powerful. Obsessive compulsive disorder. So you're like, oh, this chair is not like it should be like that. Sorry. Or that, then you get, half the time you can't do your work, you're only sitting and doing that stuff. Okay. So that was the story of Rama and Parashurama, some side tale, but it also helps us understand how, even within the different avatars, it helps us understand how there's a slight gradation. Okay. So now I thought we will quickly go to and see in the 6-7 stories that you all may have listened, or maybe some of this, has there been any one learning that you all have taken? So tell me if that, otherwise I'm going to ask you a quiz. Tick one, quick. Any learning in Balakandam so far? Okay, I'm going to ask you a quiz. I would have anyway asked you. So, this is not meant to be the answer. These are the questions. I want you to tell me, for each of these lessons, what incident in the Balakandam was actually the learning. Okay. So the first one is the Lord's name can transform even the worst sinner. Which story was this? And these two people don't get to answer. They'll get to answer last because they have already seen the exam paper, so they've got unfair advantage. That's right. So that's the Valmiki story, right? So remember Valmiki, he was a dacoit, he was a robber, but just by chanting the Lord's name, Ratnakar became Valmiki. So we said that's the power of the Lord's name. So the Lord's name can transform even the worst sinner. Okay. The second one, there are actually two possibilities. This is like the game of bingo. They get two options now. With sincere efforts and perseverance, any achievement is possible. Which story was that? Vishwamitra's story. But there is also one more story. Something that was considered impossible to do.
Oh yeah.
Bhagirath and Ganga. What were you saying?
I thought that's
The churning of the ocean.
Yeah.
Churning of the ocean also actually, yeah, maybe it's a third one, I had not thought of it. Good point. Churning of the ocean also, with efforts and the Lord's name, everything is possible. Third, when we are too attached to something, then that can, we are not able to think clearly, and we might even kind of end up, we don't know what is right, what is wrong. Which story was that? Vishwamitra and whom?
The Moses Kavadegu.
Correct, Vishwamitra and Kamadhenu, but there is one more incident where somebody is so attached, he's just not willing to let go.
Is it Raja Dasharath?
King Dasharath, yes. What was he asked to give away? Not Rama. And he said, oh no. Una Shodasha Varsho me Rama Rajiva Lochana. My dear Rama is my son. Oh no, but then Vishwamitra has to remind him that no, there is a wider cause. So love is good, but when we get too attached to something, then he forgot that he had made a promise. And he was a person who was so good at keeping his promise, so he forgot that. Okay? The fourth one, victory over one's mind is the greatest victory. What learning is that? Which incident was that? Somebody kept trying, he kept getting different titles, vice president, associate vice president, director, senior director, but he said, no, I want to keep getting something else. Who was that? Yes?
I don't remember it, but I don't, well, he wanted, so, he was like, he was the king, and then he wanted to be powerful,
right.
He wanted the cow, then he wanted the weapon, and eventually he became a Brahmin.
And he got each time a different title. He was saying, you're a Rishi now, you're a Raja Rishi now, you're a Maharishi now. He said, no. Ultimately, when did he get the title that he wanted of Brahma Rishi? When he was able to control his own anger, his own desire, and and all of those impulses that kept arising within him. And he realized that actually it is not the title, it's not like a medal. So it doesn't matter how many people I win over or how large my army is. The real victory that matters is am I in charge of my own mind, right? So I think in the Sikh tradition there is Guru Gobind Singh or Guru Nanak says this, right? Man jeete Jagjita, something like that, right? So Manjita Jagjit, right? So if you can win over your own mind, you have won over the world, he says. And then the last one, suffering or challenges and tapas or austerity can be a very powerful tool to cleanse one's mind. Ahalya, yes, absolutely.
I think the kids deserve a clap.
Absolutely, yes. Well done.
We didn't realize you guys were listening.
Good, cool.
Now we know.
So now that's Balakandam. I don't think we need the slides immediately. We'll come back to it towards the end if we need to. But I think we can perhaps close this so we can just continue. Okay. So with that, let's move to the next section of Ramayana, which is called Ayodhya Kanda. Ayodhya Kanda or Ayodhya Kanda. So a quick piece of trivia. So we said Ramayana has got 24,000 verses. That's the number of verses in the Ramayana. Now Balakandam, the section that we've just finished listening to, has got approximately 2,200 verses. Okay, so a little less than 10%. And Balakandam spans how many years? It spans even before Rama was born. It starts with Valmiki's story. It talks about how the Devas go to Vishnu to say, please come to the earth. It then talks about Valmiki telling the story to Lavakusha coming to Ayodhya and telling the story. It talks about how Rama was born, Rama and the almost 24 years of Rama's life, Vishwamitra story. All of that is covered in 2200 verses. Okay? Ayodhya Kandam has got 4300 or something, 4000 some verses, okay, almost double that of Balakandam. And Ayodhya Kandam takes place in how many, what duration do you think? Guess. If Balakandam took 24 years, Ayodhya Kandam would take how many years?
22 years.
23 years.
24.
Same. It has got 4300 verses. Balakandam only had 2004. Are you trying to do mathematics? It's a trick question. Ayodhya Kandam takes place in barely 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. Most of it actually happens over one night. Yeah, and then there is a few more incidents after that. But in something that is such a short period of time, it has got 4300 verses because there are so many emotions and so many different twists and turns in the story. That's what makes Ayodhya Kandam really very interesting to listen. Okay, so Ayodhya Kandam starts, the first verse of Ayodhya Kandam starts with something called Gachatam Matulakulam. Right? So the word Gachatam literally means they left. So who left? So 12 years Rama, and just to quickly see where we are. So Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, their 4 wives, each wife, they've all come to Ayodhya and they are living happily for almost another 12 years. So Rama is now how old? How old? 24 years. Yeah? And Sita is approximately 18 years old. Okay? So time is passing by, and when everything is happening so smoothly, Valmiki does not want to write a lot of verses. He says, yeah, Rama listened to everything his father said, everybody was happy, cool, finished. Let's come straight to Ayodhya. So, Bharata and Shatrughna, both of them go to Bharata's mother's father's house, so maternal grandfather's house. Okay, Bharata's mother is Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi's parents, father is the king of Keikaya. So they go, and because Shatrughna always follows Bharata, like Lakshmana follows Rama, Bharata and Shatrughna go. So that's how the whole section starts with it. Gachata Matulakulam. So Bharata and Shatrughna go. Now Shatrughna here, and it is just like they go on to spend some time with their maternal grandparents. They have gone there. Now Shatrughna in this verse is referred to as Nitya Shatrughna, right? And for those of you who maybe came to Sri Priyaji's lecture, she was describing why Shatrughna's name is Shatrughna. Any idea what is Shatru?
Fighter.
Shatru is?
Fighter.
Enemy. Yeah, Shatru literally means an enemy. Shatrughna means one who has conquered his enemy, to win over. Right? So why is Shatrughna called Nitya Shatrughna? Always conquering enemy. But in the whole of Ramayana, you will hardly see him fighting. It's almost like this guy is top scorer, and you will see he never comes to bat at all. So that feels a little bit odd. So how is Shatrughna called Nitya Shatrughna? What enemy has he conquered? We discussed that at the start also somewhere.
Ego.
He's conquered his ego. He has conquered. You say there are 6 internally. Like we said, right? This whole thing is about not conquering externally. It is about conquering our desire, kama, krodha, anger, greed, all of that. But they say he's conquered something even beyond that. Shatrughna has managed to conquer he has managed to defeat the so-called enemy of Rama Bhakti. Now you might say, how can Rama Bhakti be an enemy? How can he conquer that? Because later on we will see when Rama and Lakshmana go to the forest, Bharata is staying back and serving Rama as the servant of Rama, and Shatrughna is serving Bharata as the servant of Rama. So for him to be able to do that, he didn't want to say, I will also be a servant of Rama. He said, no, the main servant of Rama here, the one who is serving is Bharata. My job is to serve that servant of Rama, and to be able to do that, he had to really conquer even his bhakti for Rama by saying, I am here to serve. So Bharata and Shatrughna go to the kingdom of Keikaya. Okay? Now, they have gone there, and in those days you can't just take a flight and go. Even reaching there might take a few days, and then they will stay there. And Keikaya is almost currently Afghanistan or somewhere in that stretch. So if you look at in the maps today, Keikaya is almost kind of coming somewhere in that area. So from Ayodhya up north, they've all gone there. Now, as time is passing by, Dasharatha is starting to see some omens, and he's starting to see things happening in a certain way which disturbs his mind. But he's also conscious that age is now creeping in. Dasharatha, I think it was said even at the time when Vishwamitra had come, Dasharatha was almost 50,000-60,000 years old, but certainly much older. He had been ruling for many years, and he thought that it will be while he loved all his 4 children, but as per the rules and also based on what he had seen, he knew that Rama was probably the most befitting, and he felt that Rama should be crowned the prince. So he wanted to do that before he himself, something happens to him, because it's not good to have a kingdom without a king. So he said, it's time. I have been a king for so many years, I have served, and I think it is time now for me to so-called retire and have my son Rama take over the kingdom. So that was Dasharatha's aspirations. So the first 30-40 verses of Ayodhya Kandam just go about describing Rama's different qualities. As to, he is one who never will swerve from the truth. He is one who is ever compassionate. He is one who is not just very good at archery, but is on all the different arts. So he knew how to play the veena. So he was a very versatile type of personality. So as he's thinking now, normally we get the impression that in those days when kings ruled, then if the king is dying, then the king will appoint his son and the king's decision. But that's not how Valmiki says how the decision was actually made. When Dasharatha had that desire that he wants to crown Rama, the first thing he does is actually he goes and approaches his subjects. He calls his ministers, but he also calls the people of Ayodhya and he asks them. He says, I have been ruling for 6 years. I have tried to do my best to rule through by following dharma, by following all the injunctions, by trying to take care. I think it is now time for me to step back. I would like your opinion, O subject, I would like your opinion on who should take care. I feel that Rama would be best placed, but I don't want to be doing that just because of my love for Rama. Can you please tell me what is your opinion, because ultimately he is your king. So what we today consider modern day democracy, voting, etc. This was in those days the king actually asking his people, who do you think is fit to rule after me, right? Now when he says that, the whole assembly and it's like a whole commotion. It's like, the sound is deafening. Everybody is like talking, and Dasharatha is initially not clear. And you can see people are extremely happy. And they're saying, we thought you would never ask us this question. And they said, I think you made the perfect choice. We really need Rama to come and be the king so soon. Now Dasharatha at that stage had mixed emotions. On one hand he was happy that his people supported his decision, but a part of him was also saying, it's almost like, yeah, please go away, thank you. We need Rama. He's like, you're saying like that, have I not been a good king? You're almost acting like you're waiting for me to be kicked off and the next king to come.
Anti-incumbents.
Sorry?
Anti-incumbents.
Yeah, it's like, is it really anti-incumbency? And then the people say, no, king, that's not the case. Yes, you have been a good king and we respect and all of that. But actually, what you don't realize is Rama is not like the typical crown prince, because he is more in touch with our challenges and difficulties than sometimes even we are. So if somebody in the kingdom is unwell and is kind of going through some illness, Rama will be there with him at night, if need be, to staying awake, nursing that person. So Rama is mostly the crown princes will be walking, people have to clear the way, we see even nowadays in modern time. Rama will go out of his way to go talk to people. And so Rama never considered himself as, I'm the crown prince, just make way for me, I'm walking. He was that approachable. He would go, and whether it is a great a rishi or a pandit or some laborer in the kingdom, Rama was that accessible. He made it a point to go and approach. He also made it a point to encourage different debates on different topics. He was very keen on learning. So they go and outline different qualities of Rama. I think I noted it down somewhere. I'm not sure if I can find it here. But they give a whole description of all the qualities why the people believe that Rama should be crowned as the Yuvraj, or effectively the crown prince, so that if at all the king decides tomorrow that he wants to step back or something happens to the king, then the successor is already decided by the king. So Dasharatha is very pleased and he goes back. So this is all happening on whatever, day 1. Right? As he goes, so he immediately tells Vasishtha, please call Rama and inform him about this decision that we have all taken, and he also starts to make announcement for other kings to come, so that they can come for the coronation. Now when he goes back, he again, when your mind, he's a Raja Rishi, remember, so he's not just a king, he also has got a certain level of mental intuition. So he can already start to feel that maybe he should not even wait. Not going to wait for some auspicious day in the future. He can see that tomorrow is a good day. So why even delay? Let's do it immediately. So he calls Rama again and he tells him, Rama, I think we should accelerate the coronation. Rama has already come once. We've been informed you are going to be crowned. He goes back and he's called again. He says, Rama, I just want to talk to you in private. And there Dasharatha tells him, I know this might feel a bit rushed and your brother Bharata is not here, but I think this is a good time. He says, listen, I know Bharata is as noble as you. He is very kind hearted, he loves you a lot. But Rama, I will tell you one thing. You can never trust the mind of any person, and you never know when a person's mind could get changed. Right? So he doesn't give any more explanation. He says, I want to get your coronation done tomorrow morning itself. So please go, and Vasishtha will tell you what rituals and procedures you have to follow, because coronation is not just you walk up at 9 in the morning, half asleep, and they give you some medal or something. You have to have kind of not eaten the previous night. You should have done some kind of austerity. And Rama was a very orthodox prince, so he knows how all the things to follow. So Vasishtha will tell you. But let us not wait. I want to crown you as the Yuvaraja or the crown prince tomorrow itself. So that news, even without Facebook and social media, spreads very fast all across Ayodhya. People get to know. The whole city is in a state of festivity. And Rama goes, and Rama is told by Vasishtha all of the austerities he has to follow. Rama also then goes and informs his mother Kaushalya. He says, Mother Kaushalya, father has told me that he would like me to rule or become the crown prince. He would like me to take charge of the kingdom. Kaushalya is extremely happy. She was doing her puja at that time, but she hears that and she says, I'm so delighted that this is the day I've anyway been waiting for. So this is great news. She is also happy. Rama then goes into his chamber because he has to follow it's almost like late in the evening now. Dasharatha has told Vasishtha and all the rishis to make the arrangements, and this is tomorrow morning we will crown Rama as the crown prince. So all that happens. Rama's not like, yes, made it. Now my turn. I was waiting. No, okay, I have to do this, and he almost looks at this as his duty. The king has asked me to serve the subjects of Ayodhya as the crown prince. So it's not like I am going to become the king and now I will rock and I will tell people, hey, go give it. No, that is also my duty that I have to do it now. Right? So as he is going there and he is taking care of all of the things he can, Sita and Rama have to perform some puja to Lord Ranganatha, so they are doing all of that. At that time, one character enters the scene. Okay? This character is Mantara, who came along with Kaikeyi. So when King Dasharath married Kaikeyi, this lady was almost like the nanny of Kaikeyi. You heard of nannies? So she was closer to Kaikeyi than Kaikeyi's own mother, because Kaikeyi's mother probably was busy doing different things. So the nanny had literally taken care of Kaikeyi as a child, and as a result, she was quite close to Kaikeyi. So when Kaikeyi got married, Mantara came along with her. Now Mantara was known to have a hunchback, so she could not walk straight. She had to always walk like this, and she had almost her backbone, her spine had like a small mountain, a small dome out here, like how camels have a hunchback. So that is how she was. So she would always walk like this. Now she goes and climbs on top of the terrace of Ayodhya, and suddenly she's seeing people are putting different festivity. People are cleaning the houses. There is a whole lighting lamps, and suddenly the environment doesn't feel like a normal day in Ayodhya. I mean, Ayodhya is always very prosperous, but today feels much more different. People are walking around. They are taking garlands. They are putting rangolis outside. Elephants are coming. People are carrying big vessels. She's wondering what's going on. So she asks one of the other maids, "Hey, what's up? Right? Why all this festivity?" And she said, "Manthara, don't you know? King Dasharatha has decided to appoint Rama as his crown prince, and that coronation is going to take place tomorrow." The moment Manthara hears this, he's like, "What? How did this come about?" And Manthara never really liked Rama. Partly there's some incident they say when the children were young, they would make like almost like toy rockets or small things and throw it out there. And Manthara's hunchback was one of the targets. So as a child, when somebody does it, but she has held that on to her to say, "Hey, Rama has done that. I'm going to teach him a lesson." But irrespective of what the reason might be, she now comes straight into the room of Kaikeyi. And Kaikeyi, as usual, queen, lying down, relaxing, and they don't have much to do. They didn't even have 24/7 Netflix in those times. So she was doing whatever she was doing at that time. Manthara comes in and says, "Wake up, you foolish woman. Your whole life is about to be destroyed and you're sitting here, sitting nicely, relaxing. What are you doing?" He doesn't even say it. Kaikeyi almost treats her almost like a friend, someone who's been with her. She doesn't feel bad about this thing. "What happened, Manthara? Why are you so kind of upset, and why are you kind of generally agitated with life? Come in, sit down, and I'll also give you something to eat." He says, "Forget eating. Don't you realize that danger is lurking all around you? Your life is on the verge of destruction, and ignorant of all of that, it's almost like your house is on fire, and you are sitting here trying to kind of take care of your putting lipstick on yourself and getting dressed. Have you forgotten what's happening? The king is crowning Rama as the crown prince tomorrow." And then she says, "Do you know what that will mean? That when the moment Rama is crowned the crown prince, Kaushalya will become the queen mother. She will have greater respect." And she keeps talking for some time. Kaikeyi does not hear any of that. The moment she hears Rama is going to be crowned as the crown prince, that is all she hears, and she is super delighted. She's like, "What? Rama is going to be crowned the crown prince? Oh my God, Manthara, you have made me so happy." She takes a very expensive necklace and she gives it to Manthara and says, "This is, really precious necklace, my gift to you, because you have made me so happy that I have not this is like the best news I've heard in such a long time. I've been waiting for the day when Rama will become the king, and to hear it from you, I'm so delighted. I want to give you this necklace." Now Manthara takes that necklace and throws it away, throws it on the ground. She says, "Have you not heard a single thing of what I've been saying? I'm telling you, your house is on fire. Your whole position as the king's favorite wife is in danger. You are going to soon become a servant and will be sitting there sweeping floors and washing vessels. And you are giving me awards and prizes and necklace? What a foolish woman you are." He says, Manthara, come on, take a chill pill. Take it easy. What's wrong with you? Why are you so agitated? Nothing. You're kind of getting over agitated. Rama is dearer to me than my own son Bharata. But although Rama and Bharata have both served me, Rama has served me more than Bharata himself. And actually, you know what? Between you, if I tell you, I think although Rama may be Kaushalya's son, Rama likes me more than Kaushalya herself. So you're unnecessarily getting affected. Rama is not the kind of person who is going to do favoritism or anything. You're overthinking this, Manthara. Don't worry, come here and sit down. Manthara was like unrelenting. She says, no, Kaikeyi, you don't understand. First of all, think about this, right? Right now, who's the king's favorite queen? She says, of course it's me. I'm the king. I'm so beautiful. Others are there, they're kind of old or they're like too simple. I'm like the cool queen of the king. That's why see maximum time he spends. This is correct. He spends maximum time with you. Now when Rama becomes the king, right? Who will be the Rajamata, right? Which is the mother of the prince. See, we will all be. Not all of you cannot be. Who is the biological mother of Rama? Kaushalya. So who will be the crown, the Rajamata? Kaushalya. So what does that mean? All these years Kaushalya has been waiting because although she has been the eldest queen, she knows that she has never gotten that much attention of King Dasharatha because you have been taking all of it, right? Guess what will happen when she becomes the Rajmata, when she becomes the mother of the king? Do you think she is going to wait there and still allow herself to be treated like that? Probably not, but that doesn't matter. Rama will still treat me with the same amount of love. She says, okay, fine. But assume nothing will happen there. What about Bharata? Right? Why is all of this happening at a time when Bharata has gone to Kekaya? Why this rush to do it? If the king really wanted to crown Rama as the crown prince, could he not have waited for Bharata to be there? Why is he doing this when Bharata has left Ayodhya? I don't know. I'm sure there's some reason the king may have thought of it, but I don't know the reason. Now slowly Kaikeyi is moving from, you're talking all nonsense to, now I'm a little bit unsure what you're saying. He says, you don't understand. This is all very well thought of. Dasharatha is a master strategist. He's a very shrewd king. He wanted to make sure that Bharata is not present, and before Bharata can come back, Rama is crowned as the prince so that when he comes he cannot object to anything. He says, so what's the problem? Even if Bharata is not the king now, he can become the king after 50, 80, 100 years after Rama finishes his rule. Bharata is next in line. He's the next eldest son. So Bharata can become the king. So few years of waiting, and Bharata and Rama are like, they're so close that there is absolutely no problem with that. She says, again, you foolish woman, you are not understanding. Mantra says, after Rama dies, or when he is no longer the king, who will become the king after him? It is Bharata. He says, no, it will be Rama's son will become the king. And Bharata will keep waiting because the rule of aristocracy in those days was the king's son normally should become the king. So your Bharata will keep waiting, his children will keep waiting, but they will never get a chance because each time they are ready to become Rama's son, Rama's sons, Rama's grandson, Rama's great grandson, they will keep becoming. So Bharata will almost be living like an elephant who is living in a forest oppressed by the lion. So all this love that Rama has shown to all the brothers is all there because he is not yet the king. The moment he becomes the king, everything will change. Now Kaikeyi is a little bit more. She loves Bharata, of course. She wants good things for her Bharata. She also loves Rama. But from that state of full confidence and love for Rama, she has now moved a little bit to the middle to say, I see that, but I'm not sure Rama will do like that. I've known Rama since he was a child, and I think I'm still not convinced. So now Mantra puts the third argument. She says, you know what? In those days, as the kingdoms have to rule and they have to grow, they will often engage in, alliances and wars. So one king wants to conquer, let's say, a neighboring kingdom. He might not be able to do it on his own. So he might go and ask one of his other kings to say, come together, let's together go and attack that kingdom, then I will get it. So he says, you know what? Now all the other kings have been invited for Rama's coronation. Only 2 kings have not been invited. Can you guess who those 2 kings are? I didn't even know that they have not been invited. But who are those 2 kings? Who are the 2 kings? Kaikeyi's father and?
His brother?
No. They are all part of the same kingdom. So 2 kings have not been invited. One is the Kekaya Raja, the Raja of Kekaya kingdom, or Kaikeyi's father. The second one was Janaka, Sita's father. And at that time, again in the Ramayana, it says it's all being done in almost a span of a night. So Dasharatha's thinking is they are anyway part of the family. Even if they know a little later, they wouldn't mind. So he is not kind of done it that way. But the way Mantra plays it is today, only 2 kings have not been invited for the coronation tomorrow. One is your father, one is Sita's father. So what? Kaikeyi asked. She says, you know what? Tomorrow, when Janaka wants to, say, have a war and conquer Kaikeya kingdom, right? Who do you think he will ask for help? Because he can't do it on his own. So if he decides to expand, he wants to conquer or have a war with Kaikeya, he will turn to Ayodhya. He will turn to the king of Ayodhya for help. So if Rama now has to choose between supporting his father-in-law, Janaka, or his brother's grandfather, who do you think he will choose? Kaikeyi says, most likely he will choose his father-in-law. Chances are that son-in-laws are usually very obedient to father-in-laws and mother-in-laws. He will choose his father-in-law. So he says, oh my God, what will that mean? Your father's kingdom, your father will be defeated. You guys will end up serving as assistants. And do you know how to wash clothes? Kaikeyi says, no, I don't. You know how to clean dishes? No, there's no dishwasher. You will have to learn all that, Kaikeyi, because once Rama becomes king, that is what you will all have to do. So you may as well keep the lipstick and the mehendi away and start getting to do some work, because you're sitting here and that's why I said your house is on fire and you are out here trying to put lipstick. So Kaikeyi decides that now Kaikeyi is completely panicked. Her face becomes red, she is angry, she is anxiety stricken. He said, look at this, the whole kingdom knows. Manthara says, but your husband, your loving husband, who thinks you are the most favorite, has not come and told you. So now Kaikeyi says, Manthara, you are right. You have opened my eyes to a grave danger that is approaching me. What do I do, Manthara? I don't know. I understand the problem now, but I am not sure how to address this, how to solve this. Can you help me? So Manthara will stretch for 5 minutes. We'll try and get to one stage and then we will see. So Manthara tells her, Kaikeyi, remember when Dasharatha was fighting the war on behalf of the Devas, there was a war between the Devas and the Asuras. Indra had called Dasharatha to fight on his side. That's why he got the name Dasharatha, the one who can move his chariots in 10 directions. Dasharatha had fought on the side of the Devas. During that war, you had gone with him as his charioteer. And in that war, when Dasharatha was attacked once, you helped save his life. You got him out from the battlefield, you saved his life. At that time, feeling so grateful to you, Dasharatha had said, Kaikeyi, ask me for 2 boons and I will give you whatever you want. But at that time you didn't need anything. You said, I don't need anything, my lord, I have done my duty. If and whenever I need it, I will ask you. Now is the time for you to ask those 2 boons. Okay? Now what boon she asked, we will learn next time. But she also said, but you can't just go and kind of walk up to Dasharatha and say, hey Dasharatha, remember those 2 boons? You can't ask him like that. That won't be fair. So you will have to really plan this out well. Right? So the first thing you have to do is to set the scene properly. So in those days, the palaces had separate rooms. One room was called Krodha Griha. So the room literally is like, how when you do mischief, you're given a naughty chair to sit. In those days, if you were angry, there was a room where you could go and be angry. So outside, do not disturb, board was put. Because I'm angry. So you go there, it was good for everybody, it was good for that person also, they can be angry. It was also good for people around, so they don't have to go to that room and they can carry on with their life. Otherwise, sulking people walking around saying, teenager, I don't like this, everybody, and they make everybody's life miserable. Not all teenagers, some teenagers.
Flying objects inside.
Sorry?
Flying objects inside.
Flying objects, nothing of that. In that room was also painted like that red color. Iron Maiden, all this, rock star photos, not like that. Whatever, you get the picture. If it starts to look a bit like a teenager's room, then that is just by coincidence. It is not intentional by any. But anyway, so those rooms were designed such that if you're angry or you're sulking, you're upset, it's not a sulking room. You can go there, sulk as much as you want. When you're hungry, you come out smiling. So she said, now you go to that room. And when the king enters, then you use that time to ask for the tools. So now she has given her the technique and she's told her what costume to wear, like Halloween, what costume to wear on that day, to kind of get into that mood, and how to kind of arrange your hair, what hairstyle will go, for that kind of a mood, right? What streaks you should put in your hair, so that when you go there, it will really look like really cool. So Kaikeyi gets dressed. She's getting into that state of mind. She goes into that room. She tells her assistants, if the king asks for me, tell him I am at sulking room. Come in. And with that, we will close today's class, and we will see next class what happens when Dasharatha makes the mistake of entering the sulking room, and why we should not make that mistake of entering a room when somebody is sulking. But that will be the next class. Okay, cool. Sure. Do you want to say the 2 shlokas from this thing? And I'll say the Purnamada, and then you just say those. Do you want the slide or do you know them by heart? You know them by heart? So I'll just say Purnamada, and then you say the 2 shlokas. Okay? Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Say 2 shlokas from the. You sit here and say, and then everybody can will repeat after you.
Tapaswadhyaya niratam.
Tapaswadhyaya niratam.
Tapasvi vakvidambaram.
Tapasvi vakvidambaram.
Naradam paripaprascha.
Naradam paripaprascha.
Valmiki Munipunggavam.
Valmiki Munipunggavam.
Manishadav pratishtatvam.
Manishadav pratishtatvam. Agamaha.
Sashvati samaha.
Shashvati samaha.
Yat kaucha mituna deham.
Yat kramcha mituna devam.
Avadi kama mohitam.
Avadi kama mohitam. Excellent. Thank you. Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, we have some prasad from Birmingham Temple. So all those lucky people who managed to come here on a rainy day